Ever wonder what happens when a mother-in-law with magical powers decides to give you the ultimate gift? Darrin Stevens found out when Endora zapped a futuristic show car onto his driveway. The Reactor Mach II. A car so wild it made witchcraft look normal. We're about to reveal 20 facts about this aluminum spaceship that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about 60s TV cars. Some of these are so bizarre, even the car's builder couldn't explain them. Today we're diving deep into the strangest automotive gift in television history, the car that launched 1,000 confused letters to screen gems. Before we lift the canopy on this mystery, hit that like button and subscribe. Trust me, this gets weirder than anything Samantha could conjure up. Number 20. Pebble Beach comeback. 2017. Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, the most prestigious car show on Earth, where Ferraris and Bugattis compete for glory. And there, on the lawn, sits the Reactor from Bewitched, a TV prop among priceless classics. Except it wasn't just displayed, it was honored. Part of a special class called American Dream Cars of the 1960s, the Reactor sat next to one-off customs worth millions, and held its own. More than held its own. Drew bigger crowds than Ferraris. People who'd never heard of Gene Winfield suddenly knew his name. The car that played dress-up for television was now being treated like automotive royalty, which it was. Always had been. Pebble Beach finally recognized what hot rodders knew for 50 years. The Reactor was art. Rolling, driving, self-leveling art. The judges were fascinated by the Citroën suspension. Still working. Still rising and falling on command. The paint, that famous Winfield fade from metallic green to gold, still perfect. 52 years after it was sprayed. The car looked better than when it appeared on Bewitched, because now people understood what they were looking at. Not just a TV prop, a piece of automotive history. Gene Winfield, 90 years old, was there. Watching his creation get the respect it always deserved. Number 19. Still owned by Winfield. Gene. Winfield owns it, still. After all these years, all these miles, all these adventures, the builder kept his baby. This almost never happens in the custom car world. Builders sell, buyers flip, cars disappear into collections, but not the Reactor. Winfield bought it back when he could, kept it when he shouldn't have, refused to sell when the money was stupid good. Why? Because it's his masterpiece, his Mona Lisa, his statement to the world. The car went through multiple owners originally. Joe Kesey's commissioned it, owned it first, then sold it back to Winfield. Then it went to storage, got lost, got found, got damaged, got forgotten, but Winfield tracked it down in the late 90s, found it rusting in a storage facility, rescued it, restored it, made it perfect again. Now it lives with him, goes to shows with him, gets maintained by him. At 97 years old before he passed in March 2025, Winfield was still showing the Reactor, still explaining the Citroën suspension, still demonstrating the Canopy, still telling the Bewitched story. The car outlived most of its TV co-stars, outlived its original purpose, outlived expectations, but as long as Winfield lived, the Reactor lived with him. Number 18. 2,000-pound featherweight. 2,000 pounds. That's it. That's all the Reactor weighed, about a ton. For reference, a 1967 Mustang weighed 3,000 pounds. A Corvette, 2,800. The Reactor, 2,000. Flat. This wasn't an accident, it was engineering. Aluminum body. Every panel hand-formed from aircraft-grade aluminum, welded, not riveted, strong but light. The frame was tubular steel, minimal, just enough to hold everything together, no excess, no waste, no weight. The Corvair engine was aluminum too, air-cooled, no heavy radiator, no coolant, just fins and a fan. Even the interior was minimalist. 2 seats, a few switches, that bizarre handgrip steering yoke, nothing extra. The result? Performance that shouldn't have been possible. 180 horsepower, moving 2,000 pounds. That's supercar power to weight for 1965. The car was genuinely quick. Not just show car quick. Actually quick. 0 to 60 in about 7 seconds. In 1965, with 1950 suspension, the lightweight made everything better. Acceleration, braking, handling. Even the weird Citroën suspension worked better with less mass to control. When Darrin drove it on Bewitched, the car moved like it was floating. Because it almost was. 2,000 pounds of aluminum and dreams. Number 17. Not Mission Impossible. Everyone gets this wrong. Everyone. Go to any car site, any TV site, any custom car forum. They all say the Reactor was in Mission Impossible. It wasn't. Never. Not once. The confusion comes from one episode. The Freeze. 1968, there's a futuristic car in that episode. Looks similar to the Reactor, similar shape, similar concept, but it's not the Reactor. It's Dean Jeffries' Manta Ray. Completely different car, different builder, different design, different everything. But people see futuristic 60s custom and assume Reactor. The mistake's been repeated so many times it's become fact. Wikipedia had it wrong for years. IMDb still has it wrong. Car magazines repeat it. The Reactor wasn't exactly 4 TV shows. Bewitched, Star Trek, Batman, that's 3. The 4th? Some sources say the man from UNCLE, others say the Flying Nun. Neither is confirmed, but definitely not Mission Impossible. Dean Jeffries would be insulted. His Manta Ray was its own masterpiece, didn't need to pretend to be the Reactor. And the Reactor didn't need Mission Impossible. It had enough TV credits, enough fame, enough history, but the myth persists, probably always will. Because once something's on the internet, it's forever, even when it's wrong. Number 16. Star Trek Alias, the Jupiter 8. That's what they called it on Star Trek. Season 2, Episode 25. Bread and circuses. The Enterprise crew visits a planet that's basically Rome with television. And there's the Reactor, playing a consumer product, a car being advertised to aliens. The absurdity was intentional. A Earth-style car commercial on an alien planet. But here's the wild part. William Shatner posed with the car. 18 different publicity photos, 18, Captain Kirk and the Reactor, together, forever. The photos were everywhere. Magazines, promotional materials, convention displays, Shatner in his Starfleet uniform. Standing next to this aluminum spaceship, it looked right. Looked like it belonged in the 23rd century. The Star Trek appearance elevated the Reactor, made it more than just a custom car, made it science fiction, made it the future. Kids who watched that episode wanted that car. Not an Enterprise, not a phaser, the Jupiter 8. Gene Winfield suddenly had Trekkies calling, wanting to buy the car, wanting to build replicas, wanting to touch something Shatner touched. The Jupiter 8 became more famous than the Reactor Mach II. More people saw Star Trek than Bewitched. More people remembered the alien car commercial. The Reactor had transcended television. It was now part of the Star Trek universe, canon. Number 15. Catwoman crossover. Eartha Kitt. Driving the Reactor, dressed as Catwoman, with Cesar Romero's Joker riding shotgun. This happened. Batman, Season 3, Episode 16. The funny feline felonies. The Reactor plays the kitty car. Catwoman's personal vehicle. They dressed it up with cat ears, cat whiskers on the front, a tail on the back. It was ridiculous. Gloriously ridiculous. The most sophisticated custom car of the 60s wearing a Halloween costume, but it worked. Somehow. The Reactor's alien shape already looked feline, low, sleek, predatory. Add some ears and it's a cat car. The episode is legendary among Batman fans, not for the plot. For the car. Eartha Kitt emerging from that tilting canopy. The ultimate Catwoman entrance. Sexier than the Batmobile. Weirder than the Batmobile. Better than the Batmobile? Maybe. The car stole every scene it was in, upstaged Eartha Kitt, upstaged Cesar Romero, upstaged everyone. Kids wrote to ABC asking what it was, where it came from, how to get one. ABC had no answers, it was just a car they rented for a week. But that week made the Reactor a Batman villain car, part of the Rogues Gallery, the kitty car, meow. Number 14, Larry Tate, gag payoff. The setup was perfect, classic Bewitched. Darrin's trying to impress a client, Sheldrake, big automotive executive, Larry Tate's biggest account. Everything has to go perfectly. Enter Endora. She's given Darrin this incredible car, the Reactor Mach II. Stolen it, actually. From Sheldrake's company, their secret prototype. But here's the gag everyone forgets. When Endora returns the car, Sheldrake's still inside. In the car. She zapped him with the car. He's been missing for hours, maybe days. His company's in chaos. Police are involved. And he's been sitting in Darrin's driveway. In his own prototype. The whole time. Larry Tate's reaction is priceless. His biggest client has been kidnapped by his account executive's mother-in-law, via witchcraft, using the client's own car. How do you explain that to the partners? The scene's played for laughs, but think about it. Sheldrake was transported against his will, held in a car, by magic. That's kidnapping. Federal crime. But it's Bewitched, so it's funny. The payoff works because the Reactor looks like something magic would create. Too futuristic, too perfect, too impossible. Of course Endora could conjure it, what else would a witch's gift car look like? Number 13, Supercar, episode specifics, Season 3, Episode 19, January 12th, 1967. Supercar, that's the one. The only Bewitched episode featuring the Reactor. But what an episode. The entire plot revolves around the car. Darrin sees it in a magazine, dreams about it, wishes he had it. Endora, trying to be nice for once, gives it to him. Literally. Appears on his driveway. Perfect. Gleaming. Impossible. But it's not really a gift. It's stolen. From a car company who desperately want it back. Because it's their prototype. Their future. Their everything. The episode was written specifically for the car, not the other way around. The producers saw the reactor, knew they had to use it, built an entire story around it. The car got more screen time than most guest stars, more close-ups than Larry Tate, more lines. Well, cars don't have lines. But you get it. They showed everything. The rising suspension, the tilting canopy, the electric everything, even the handgrip steering. Though Dick York looked confused by it, everyone did. The episode's considered a classic now. Not for the plot, for the car. Bewitched fans still talk about Darrin's supercar. Still wonder what happened to it. It's right here, in Gene Winfield's garage. Number 12, award before TV fame, before Hollywood, before Bewitched, before anyone knew what television could do for a custom car. The Reactor was already a champion. 1966 Grand National Roadster Show, Oakland, California, the biggest custom car show in America, maybe the world. The Reactor entered, and won. Not just won, dominated. Tournament of Fame award, the big one, the one that matters. This wasn't some participation trophy, this was recognition from the best builders in the world, guys who'd been customizing cars since the 40s. They looked at this aluminum spaceship and said, that's it, that's the future. The award changed everything. Suddenly, everyone knew about the Reactor. Magazines wanted features, photographers wanted shoots, Hollywood wanted it for productions. The award gave the car credibility. Made it more than just another wild custom, made it important, historic, significant. When Screen Gems called about Bewitched, they weren't calling about some random show car. They were calling about the Tournament of Fame winner, the champion, the car that beat everyone else. That award mattered. Still does. It proved the Reactor wasn't just weird, it was excellent. Excellence wrapped in aluminum and sprayed with candy paint. Number 11, Autorama, Commission Origin. $20,000, 1965 money. That's what Joe Kesey's paid for the Reactor, not bought, commissioned, paid to have it built from scratch for his show. Joe Kesey was an East Coast promoter, ran the Hartford Autorama, big indoor car show, needed something special, something nobody had seen, something impossible. He called Gene Winfield, California's king of custom, said, build me something wild, here's 20 grand. 20 grand in 1965 was serious money. That's about $170,000 today, for one car, one show, one shot at glory. Winfield took the money, took the challenge, took 6 months. The result was the Autorama Special. That's what it was called first, not Reactor, not Mach II. Autorama Special. Kesey's his car. The car appeared at the 65 Hartford show. Stopped traffic, literally. People abandoned other displays to see it, the suspension rising, the canopy opening, the lights flashing. It was theater. Automotive theater. Kesey's got his money's worth. Then sold the car to Winfield, cheap, because what do you do with a car like that? Can't drive it daily, can't store it easily, can't explain it to anyone. So Winfield got it, renamed it, made it immortal. Number 10, student-designed body, Ben-Ear Delphia. Art Center College of Design graduate, student, not professional, student. He designed the Reactor's body, every line, every curve, every impossible angle. This wasn't Gene Winfield's design. Winfield built it. Brilliantly, but Delphia designed it. A student. Think about that. The most famous custom car of the 60s, the car that defined futuristic, designed by a student. Delphia was at Art Center, the Harvard of car design, where Detroit sent scouts, where dream cars were born. He sketched the Reactor as an exercise. What would the future look like? How low could a car be? How smooth? How alien? Winfield saw the sketches, saw the potential, saw the future. He hired Delphia, gave him credit, let him refine the design. The aluminum body was hand-formed to Delphia's exact specifications, every panel beaten to match his drawings, the compound curves, the reverse angles, the impossible transitions, all Delphia. After the Reactor, Delphia disappeared, designed other things, unknown things, normal things, but for one brief moment, a student designed the future, and Gene Winfield built it, and Hollywood immortalized it, and we're still talking about it 60 years later. Number 9. Inboard disc brakes. The brakes were invisible. Completely invisible. Look at the wheels. No brake drums, no calipers, no rotors, nothing. Where were the brakes? Inboard. Mounted to the differential. Not the wheels. This was racing technology in 1965. Formula One technology reduces unsprung weight, makes the suspension work better, makes the car handle better, makes everything better. Except maintenance. Imagine changing brake pads mounted inside the car. Nightmare. But Winfield didn't care about maintenance. He cared about innovation, about doing things differently, about building the future. The Citroën already had weird brakes. High-pressure hydraulic, part of the suspension system. Winfield made them weirder, moved them inboard, hidden, secret, magic. When Darrin hit the brakes on Bewitched, the car stopped. No visible reason, no smoking drums, no glowing rotors, just stopped, like witchcraft, which fit perfectly. The inboard brakes were one more impossible detail, one more thing that made the Reactor alien, different, special. Modern cars still don't use inboard brakes. Too complex, too expensive, too impractical. But in 1965, on a hand-built custom, with a Citroën suspension and a Corvair engine, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Number 8, tapered stance quirk. The Reactor looked wrong, intentionally wrong. The front was wider than the rear, significantly wider, like the car was going two directions at once. This wasn't a mistake, it was Citroën. The donor car, a Citroën ID, had different track widths. Wide front, narrow rear, French engineering, weird engineering. Winfield kept it, all of it. The weird stance became part of the Reactor's character, made it look unstable, alien, impossible, like it might tip over, or take off, or both. On Bewitched, the stance added to the magic. This wasn't a normal car. Couldn't be. Normal cars were symmetrical, balanced, logical. The Reactor was none of those things. The tapered stance affected everything. How it drove, how it looked, how it photographed. From the front, it looked massive, wide, aggressive. From the rear, it looked delicate, narrow, vulnerable. From above, it looked like a teardrop, or a fish, or a spaceship. Nobody had seen anything like it. Detroit built rectangles. Europe built rectangles with curves. The Reactor was a triangle. A French triangle with an American heart and a Hollywood soul. The stance made it unforgettable, made it unmistakable, made it perfect for television. Number 7. Electric party tricks. Everything was electric. Everything. The canopy? Electric. Push a button, it tilts back. The lights? Electric. Hidden behind panels until needed. The hood? Electric. Opens at the flip of a switch. This was 1965 when most cars had manual everything, manual windows, manual locks, manual lives. The Reactor had switches for things that didn't need switches, because it could, because it was the future. The electrical system was a nightmare. Dozens of actuators, hundreds of feet of wire, switches everywhere, a battery that died if you looked at it wrong. But when it worked, magic, pure magic. On Bewitched, they loved the electric features, perfect for the show. Endora waves her hand, the canopy opens, Samantha twitches her nose, the lights pop up, Darrin pushes a button. Something happens, usually wrong. The electric features made the car feel alive, responsive, thinking, like it had a personality, a difficult personality, the kind that worked when it wanted to, ignored you when it didn't. Perfect for a gift from Endora. She would give Darrin a car with attitude, a car that might not start, might not stop, might do whatever it wanted. The electrical demons were actually electrical. How perfect. Number 6, Winfield Fade Paint. The paint. Let's talk about the paint. It wasn't just color, it was art. Gene Winfield's signature fade, metallic green at the bottom, slowly, impossibly, becoming gold at the top. Not a hard line, not a blend, a fade. Like the car was dissolving, or evolving, or both. This was Winfield's trademark. The technique that made him famous, two colors becoming one, or one color becoming two, depends how you look at it. The fade took days to spray. Layers upon layers, green, gold, gold, gold green, clear, more clear, even more clear. The result was depth, incredible depth, like looking into water, deep water, the kind that changes color as you sink. On television, the fade was mesmerizing. The black and white episodes couldn't do it justice, but the color ones? Spectacular. The car seemed to shift colors as it moved, green in shadow, gold in sunlight, both in between, neither in twilight. Endora's gift wasn't just a car, it was a chameleon, a shapeshifter, a magical thing that changed depending on how you looked at it, which is exactly what Endora would give, something beautiful, something impossible, something that would drive Darrin crazy trying to understand. The paint alone was worth more than most cars. Number 5. Swivel handgrip steering. No steering wheel. Let that sink in. No. Steering wheel. Instead, the Reactor had a yoke, like an airplane, with hand grips. That twisted, wrist twist steering, they called it. Ford's idea originally, Winfield's interpretation. The driver grabbed the pistol grips, twisted their wrists. The car turned. In theory. In practice, it was terrifying. No feedback, no precision, no idea where straight was. Just twist and pray. Dick York's face when he first grabbed those grips on Bewitched? Not acting. That was genuine confusion. How does this work? Which way is straight? What have I done? The hand grips looked cool. Futuristic. Like something a spaceship would have. Or a fighter jet. Or a time machine. But driving with them. Different story. Every turn was an adventure. Every lane change was faith. Every parking job was a miracle. The crew loved filming it. Made Darrin look incompetent. Which was the point. Here's this ad executive. Successful, confident, competent, until he gets in this car. Then he's a teenager. Fumbling, uncertain, human. The hand grips were perfect for comedy. Perfect for Bewitched. Perfect for making the Reactor feel alien. Because what kind of car doesn't have a steering wheel? A magic car, obviously. Number 4. Canopy instead of doors. Doors are for normal cars. The Reactor had a canopy, one piece, roof and windshield together. Hinged at the back, tilted up, climb in, lower it down. You're sealed inside, like a fighter jet, or a submarine, or a coffin with windows. The canopy was heavy, really heavy. Glass and aluminum and framework. Needed hydraulics to lift, needed faith to trust. What if it didn't open? What if you're trapped? What if? On Bewitched, the canopy was drama. Every entrance was an event. Every exit was a statement. Darrin approaching the car. Pushing the button. Waiting. The canopy slowly, dramatically rising, like a creature waking up, opening its mouth, inviting you in, or warning you away. The canopy made everything difficult. Getting in wearing a suit. Getting out gracefully. Putting groceries anywhere. Dating. Especially dating. Hold on, honey, let me just... Wait for it. There we go. Not romantic, but memorable. Absolutely memorable. Nobody forgot the Reactor's canopy. Kids drew pictures of it. Adults had nightmares about it. What if it closed on you? What if it locked? What if Endora made it disappear while you were inside? The canopy was the Reactor's signature, its defining feature, its blessing and curse. Number 3, front-wheel drive oddity. Front-wheel drive in 1965 in a custom car with a Corvair engine and a Citroën transaxle. This shouldn't work. Couldn't work. Did work. Somehow. The Corvair engine was in the front, which is weird because Corvairs had rear engines. But Winfield flipped the script, put it up front. Flat 6 hanging out over the front axle. Connected to a Citroën transaxle. French transmission meeting American engine, like a diplomatic incident waiting to happen. The combination was insane. Corvair engines weren't meant for front-wheel drive. Citroën transaxles weren't meant for Corvair engines. But Winfield made them talk to each other, made them work together, made them create motion, forward motion, sometimes. The front-wheel drive changed everything about the car, how it handled, how it accelerated, how it felt. Most customs were rear-wheel drive, had to be. That's what Detroit built. That's what was available. But the Reactor was different, had to be different. Endora wouldn't give Darrin a normal car, she'd give him something impossible, something that shouldn't exist. Something that defied conventional wisdom, a front-wheel drive custom with French bones and American muscle. What could possibly go wrong? Number 2, on-screen self-lifting trick. The best trick. The one everyone remembers. Darrin starts the car, and it rises. Literally rises, the suspension extends, the car grows taller, lifts itself up like it's stretching, waking up, coming alive. This wasn't special effects, wasn't camera tricks. The car actually did this. Citroën hydropneumatic suspension, the most complex suspension ever put in a production car. Hydraulic fluid and nitrogen gas, pumps and spheres and valves, all controlled by the engine. Start the engine, the pump runs, the suspension pressurizes, the car rises. Magic. But French magic. Engineering magic, real magic. On Bewitched, this was perfect. Too perfect. A car that moves without moving, that changes without changing, that does impossible things casually, like it's normal, like every car rises when started. Darrin's expression watching it happen, priceless. Part wonder, part fear, part What has my mother-in-law done now? The self-leveling suspension was the Reactor's best feature. Made it feel alive, sentient, magical, which is exactly what it was supposed to be. A magical gift from a magical mother-in-law that could raise itself, lower itself, level itself, fix itself, everything except be normal. Because normal was never the point. Number 1. Real car, not a prop. Here's the thing nobody realized. When Darrin drove the Reactor Mach II in that Bewitched episode, he was driving the actual car. Not a shell, not a mock-up, not a fiberglass replica. The actual running, driving, touring, show-winning Reactor. The same car that won at Oakland. The same car that toured the country. The same car that cost $20,000 to build. They put their star in a one-of-a-kind, irreplaceable custom car. Let him drive it, on public roads, in traffic, with that weird steering, and that Citroën suspension, and that Corvair engine. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. But nothing did. The car performed perfectly, started every time, stopped when asked, turned, eventually. The canopy never stuck. The suspension never failed. The electrical system never caught fire. It was a miracle, a bewitched miracle. The producers could have built a replica, should have built a replica. That's what productions do. Build disposable copies of hero cars. But they didn't. They used the real thing. The only thing. Because that's what the story demanded. Endora wouldn't give Darrin a replica. She'd give him the real thing. The impossible thing. The thing that shouldn't exist but does. The Reactor Mach II. Real car. Real magic. And that's 20 absolutely insane facts about the wildest gift any TV mother-in-law ever gave. The Reactor Mach II. The car that was too weird for the 60s. Which is saying something. Did you know it was a real car? That it's still around? That Gene Winfield still owned it until he passed? Drop a comment with your favorite Bewitched car moment. Was it the Reactor? Or did you prefer Endora's other automotive chaos? And if you want more stories about Hollywood's strangest cars, hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more impossible machines to explore. Until next time, keep your suspension level and your canopy unlocked.